The question has always been from farmers, why are my rabbits dying? And today, I thought it wise to make this particular video to advise ourselves on what we can do to minimize deaths or to reduce on the death mortality or the mortality rate on our different farms. And these kind of discussion that we're going to go into are both for the young ones, but also for the big ones. How to avoid deaths or to reduce mortality rate on your farms is something that we are going to talk about today, just in a while. Thank you for joining me today once again. I am Dennis Duke Uganda. Please visit me on different social media platforms at Dennis Duke UG. For those of you who want to contribute towards our farm and all the different works that we do, please reach us on that particular number. Your monies are welcome and we shall put them into the best of use. Now, first things first, just like chickens, just like goats, just like cows, just like pigs, rabbits also do fall sick, but they rarely. However, they equally fall sick and they equally die. And for rabbits, it's even worse. Once they fall sick, they really have a limited time to live once they fall sick, okay? For a child, for a person, for other different animals, well, they can take a day or two or three or four before they die. But for these little animals of ours, these my little friends, these my rabbits, or our rabbits, really have a short period of time once they fall sick. So you've got to be very, very careful when dealing with rabbits. Now, I think I'll start from the kids, what causes deaths in kids, but also later I'll be talking about what causes deaths in the mature one. So I hope you have a book and a pen. Let's start with the kids. Usually, kids die at all stages, but the most delicate stage is when they have been born, maybe a day or just a few hours after they've been born, and maybe at around 1 month when you are actually weaning. That's the most delicate stage for most farmers that I've at least had and also had experience on my farm. Now, why do kids die immediately after they've been born? One of the key factors causing deaths of your kids is coldness. Some farmers out there do not know how to make nesting boxes and do not want to go into the costs of actually making or purchasing a nesting box. For those of you who remember a nesting box, I have a video talking about a nesting box. But for those of you who have no idea how a nesting box looks like, this is one of our nesting boxes here. It may necessarily be big. Rather, mine may be big, but yours may not necessarily be this huge. And this is how it's made. So this nesting box, okay, helps in terms of providing some sort of shield from coldness and gives your rabbit some warmth. In this particular nesting box that I'm talking about, you need to, if the animal has not plucked fur to put in the nesting box before it delivers, please get some clothes, and cotton clothes to be specific. Many farmers out there use cotton and end up killing their rabbits because these kids, you know, they keep rolling and rolling. The moment they go into, you see, cotton is stuck in is usually stuck in, I don't know, in patches or what. So the moment these kids put their heads in there, they suffocate and they end up dying. So you need a nesting box and a cotton cloth in there to at least give it some sort of warmth. So you need to pay attention when you are expecting some kids, and you may not necessarily be in position if at all you have poor record keeping. So good record keeping is equally important for you to know when your rabbit is actually going to kindle or give birth to kids. I hope that is understood. Another reason why kids die early or at that stage, just after they've been born, is some of them some of the rabbits are not good mothers, and some of them are first-time mothers. They kind of feel, I don't know, I don't know how to explain that in English, but they are not good mothers when it comes to breastfeeding. So what do? You help them breastfeed. And one thing I've done for you guys is to create a video on breastfeeding. For those of you who want to understand everything about breastfeeding, please go to this particular channel, scroll down. I think let me just put it in the link so that you don't waste your time looking for it. So help this mother rabbit to breastfeed so that the kids get food at that particular. So you breastfeed in the morning and then breastfeed in the afternoon and then evening. You choose whichever time is convenient for you. You can breastfeed twice a day or 3 times a day. Entirely depends on you and the time that you have at your disposal. So I think that's for the kids at that early stage. So let's talk about kids dying at the weaning stage. One of the reasons kids die at that weaning stage is because of the transition. Remember, they've been feeding on milk, breast milk or their mother's milk for the last couple of weeks, and the right stage for you to wean your kids are roughly between, I think, 5 to 6 weeks. That's 1.5 months, okay? 1.5 months or 6 weeks, please wean your rabbits, and maybe you can even, and I expect that by that time it should be either expecting to give birth or it is pregnant, one of the two. So when you wean your rabbits, this is a very delicate stage, so you need to, when you're introducing feeds, you don't just bring feed at once. Introduce in small portions until you're sure that they've now gotten used to this food. Like I said, I usually tell you that rabbits have a very delicate, sensitive digestive system. So anything that disrupts their digestion could cause bloating. And bloating is a very, very serious case when it comes to rabbits because chances of survival are 50-50. In fact, most farmers don't know how to handle bloating once it has hit. Usually it's by the use of a veterinary officer. And sometimes the veterinary officer may not be readily available when you need him or her. So your rabbits end up dying because they've been bloated. Now bloating is where this rabbit's tummy is filled with too much gas that food does not move smoothly, and boom, before you know it, just in a day, it has died. But there are a couple of remedies you could do. I think I'll do a video talking about bloating extensively. Let's handle what kills rabbits today. So at that stage, weaning stage, be careful what you feed them, okay? Now, one aspect that I should have actually mentioned at the beginning of our video is that rabbits fall sick, fine, but they rarely fall sick once you follow the right management practices of keeping a good hygiene and feeding them well and what is required of them, or of you rather, of the kind of feeds that you've, so the kind or the type of feed that you give your rabbits and your hygiene. When I talk about hygiene, I mean the way your cages are, how clean are they, how hygienic are you, the kind of water they drink, among many other things. So please and please ensure that you have good hygiene at your farm, okay? Another thing that kills rabbits at that weaning stage, of course, in addition to poor hygiene, is when you did what we call inbreeding. Now, inbreeding is a serious case because sometimes the offsprings could be very weak and may lack what the antibodies or those fighting factors in the body to fight against some diseases, and also the fact that you did inbreeding, so they are weak, so they may die off. So please take care of that breeding process. Please make sure you're not inbreeding or line breeding, because they are both equally not very, very good. Usually, please and please, another thing that I forgot to mention, that if you're doing rabbitry, just like it is in chickens, please have a veterinary officer on standby. Like the moment you need them, they're able to come through and rescue you once you have an emergency at the farm, okay? I thought that is also important. I think let's now talk about what causes deaths in mature rabbits. One is falling sick, of course. They are faced with fevers, and fevers kill rapidly. Yes, fevers kill rapidly. There's also bloating. As much as they are old, their digestive systems are a bit sensitive and delicate. So equally, they are affected by bloating. And before you know it, bloating really kills fast. There is also coccidiosis. Yes, coccidiosis is that diarrhea kind of. And you can do this by, of course, following good practices. One other aspect, I don't know why I keep forgetting, but how do you tell that your rabbit is actually sick? When do you identify a not doing well rabbit? Now, every morning or every afternoon or every evening as you enter your farm, your rabbits should welcome you. Yes, what do I mean by this? They should run towards you. The moment you have a couple of rabbits in a cage and you see that if you have 5 and 4 of them come towards you and 1 remains in a corner, please just know that that rabbit has either an issue or it's sick or it needs attention. And worst of it when it comes to rabbits is by the time a rabbit shows you that it's sick, then it's actually very, very sick. Like it shows you that it's sick when it has been sick maybe for a day or 2. That's when it shows you that it's actually what? It's actually sick. So these rabbits have that kind of practice of them coming when you want to serve them food. They come closer to the door. The moment you see one is dormant or dull in the corner, please just know that that one is sick. Except, or with the exception of males. Males are a bit laid back. They will relax in the corner. You'll give them food and they won't even look at you. They'll just be there. Or one that is about to give birth. Sometimes they are a bit dormant, so they just sleep around. You come, you give it food and just looks at it. So you need to tell the difference, whether this is because it is pregnant or because it's male or it's just because it's sick. I think over time you need to learn some of these things and how they react towards certain things. So again, if you do not have passion for farming and rabbit farming in particular, I wouldn't advise you to come. Yes, please don't come. What I would advise you to is to develop, because you can as well develop love for these little animals on a daily basis. Again, I need to stress that rabbits rarely fall sick, but the moment you mess up their feeds, the moment you mess up with their hygiene, boom, it causes them to die. Okay. Another cause of death is, of course, predators or predators. I don't know how you pronounce that, but predators or predators like dogs, like cats, like those huge rats can also cause death to your rabbits, whether small, young, or big. All those can prey on your animals. And of course, human beings being the biggest predator. Another thing that causes death is, as much as these animals fear height, sometimes they are tempted to jump off, and imagine them jumping from up as high as here down. They will break maybe their spinal cord or their bones or something on their legs. Something small causes a fever or causes a sickness, and before you know it, they are all gone. So I think you need to take precaution, what you feed them, the hygiene, and some of the little practices when it comes to the kids that I talked about in our first minutes of this particular video. So I hope this video has been able to actually help you. If you need any information in regards to this, please visit our farm. We are located in Mukono along Katosi Road for an extensive advice or training in regard to rabbit farming, but also other ventures. But that also comes at a cost. My name is Dennis Duke, Uganda. Until then, this is the Duke's Farm. Continue subscribing, liking, follow me on different social media platforms at Dennis Duke UG.